Good day, everyone, and blessings and peace. Thank you for joining my Aisha Speaks Jade page. This is a makeup audio from Tuesday, July the 3rd, 2018. And today I'm going to talk about overcoming fear of failure, facing your fear of moving forward. Now, I know so often, again, I can only speak from experience and be true to myself and authentic and honest. Fear is a big factor in my life when it comes to certain situations in my personal life, in my business life. And so for me, it interconnects because there has been times that I've been very fearful of wanting to step out of that comfort zone that sometimes a lot of us, even though we don't like to admit it, but a lot of us don't like to step out of comfort zones. One, because it can feel unfamiliar. We don't like change a lot of times. And also for me, fearing that if I become successful, then what? And so that is definitely something that I'm working on every day. And because I have trust issues, and trust issues did not start today. Trust issues have been going on since early childhood, and I am doing better, so I have to give myself credit for that, but I'm not, I guess, where I need to be at. And it can be a wall that I have up, and I have to be honest, and I probably have turned down some people who meant me good. And it might not have been a financial thing. It could have just been genuinely that they came from a good place. And because of that fear and that trust, I turned them away. So with moving forward, we're going to work on how to overcome our fear of failure and learn how to move forward. So guys, make sure that if you're not listening right now, make sure when I'm done, you get that opportunity and that chance to listen to this audio, like it, share it, and support my page. All right. Overcoming fear of failure, facing your fear of moving forward. Have you ever been so afraid of failing at something that you decide not to try it at all? That's me. Been there. Even though I am an introvert, there are times where I'm like, not going to do it, not going to try it, or have tried it, failed it, and all I'm focused on is that I failed it instead of focusing on, okay, didn't do so well this time, let's move forward to something else, because there's going to be something that's going to work and I'm not going to fail at it. I'm going to push it forward and it's going to be great. So you see how our mindsets can be? Can you be honest? Can you be honest, guys, with yourself? Can you? Can you admit in my comment box what you may have feared? Can you admit that there was something you decided not to try at all? Especially when it comes to business opportunities, since this is not the first time that I've been in business opportunities as far as having my own business. I had a grassroots business before, and I did good. But I was so busy focusing on the things that I weren't so good at that really it was kind of not making me move forward in certain areas. So I took a long time off and then decided a few years back with my current business partner that I wanted to do this again. And am I fearful? Yes, about certain things I am fearful of. But I have to get into that mindset just like some of you guys. And I have to learn the tools and the strategies on having to push past that fear and move forward. So let's continue. Or has a fear of failure meant that subconsciously you undermined your own efforts to avoid the possibility of a larger failure? Great question. So let me ask those questions again. Have you ever been so afraid of failing at something that you decided not to try it at all? Or has a fear of failure meant that subconsciously you undermine your own efforts to avoid the possibility of a larger failure? Many of us have probably experienced this at one time or another. The fear of failing can be immobilizing. It can cause us to do at one time or another. The fear of failing, I read that. We're going to try this again, people. So the fear of failing can be immobilizing. It can cause us to do nothing and therefore resist moving forward. But when we allow fear to stop our forward progress in life, we're likely to miss some great opportunities along the way. I truly believe that. Okay. So in this article that I'm reading, because it's so overwhelming, it's not overwhelming, it's a lot of information. So that's why I love just being the inquisitive me and pulling up different things and reading these tools and giving you guys good gems to work with if you're not already doing this. Maybe perhaps you can put in the comment different suggestions for all of us, so let's keep moving. Causes of fear and failure. To find the causes of fear and failure, we first need to understand what failure actually means. We all have different definitions of failures simply because we all have different benchmarks, values, and belief systems. A failure to one person might simply be a great learning experience for someone else. Many of us are afraid of failing at least some of the time. But fear of failure is when we allow that fear to stop us doing the things that can move us forward to achieve our goals. Fear of failure can be linked to many causes. For instance, having critical or unsupportive parents is a cause for some people. Some of you guys might be able to relate. Because they were routinely undermined or humiliated in childhood, they carry those negative feelings into adulthood. That can be very true. If you don't have support of your parents, again, a lot of times these feelings can go into adulthood, and a lot of times you are just very discouraged, don't think that you can accomplish anything. Fear of the unknown, fear that you're going to do what, you're fearful of doing well, if that makes any sense. And if you're doing well, then what? You're kind of stuck for some people. And also experiencing a traumatic event at some point in your life can also be a cause. And this example is, say that several years ago you gave an important presentation in front of a large group and you did very poorly. The experience might have been so terrible that you become afraid of failing in other things, and you carry that fear even now, even down the road years later. So those two examples, as well as anything that you may have experienced in the past that was traumatic for you, I can speak for experience. Again, I always like to reference back and speak from experience. I've had things, as I'll use one, self-esteem or self-confidence. I have been beaten down so much, and a lot of people that I grew up with, whether it was blood family or not, I went through a large self-esteem and self-confidence thing. I can remember being verbally abused by words, being picked on because of, my complexion and the way that I was brought up, the way that I spoke, the way that I had dressed or was dressed when I was younger, and just a variety of different things. I didn't look in mirrors and, I didn't know looking in mirrors and saying anything positive or thinking of myself in a positive way, how that really would affect me into my adult years. So carrying that and not having any support or not being told otherwise had me growing up thinking that I was a very ugly person and that I was worthless. And even as I got old into my, you know, preteen years, even teenage years, it still was going on. Even into some of my high school years, it still was going on. Honestly, for me to kind of move forward past it, and I'm better at it, but I'm not all the way healed. That's why I say 2018 has really been a recovery and journey of healing for me, because a lot of things have gone on, not only from my younger years but as well as my adult years. So that all can play factor into fear and not have me believe that I can accomplish things in life. So this is an experience and learning lesson for me as well, guys. Put on my glasses so I can see see better. How you experience fear of failure. You might experience some or all of these symptoms if you have a fear of failure. So, you may have self-sabotage. For example, procrastination, excessive anxiety, or a failure to follow through with goals. Low self-esteem or self-confidence. Commonly using negative statements such as, I'll never be good enough to get that promotion, or I'm not smart enough to get on that team, or I'm not pretty enough to have this boyfriend or girlfriend, or the way that I'm dressing is too ugly. I mean, it could be anything. Perfectionism. A willingness to try only those things that you know you'll finish perfectly and successfully. The definition of failure. It's almost impossible to go through life without experiencing some kind of failure. People who do so probably live so cautiously that they go nowhere. I mean, you just stuck and you're not going nowhere at all. You're not moving. Put simply, they're not really living at all. Pretty much you're existing. And I've had that too, where I just stopped living and I just existed day to day. Had that type of mindset or attitude that it was like, whatever happens, happens. I could live or die. I've been there. Like, seriously, I have. But I'm not there today, and I'm so glad that I do have a support system, even if it's one person or it's a small system, that I do have a support system and an outlet that I don't have to every day think the creator above all powers that be, that I don't have to think like that every day because my mindset was there. I'm sure some of you can probably relate, and you don't have to put it out there if you don't choose to. That's okay. But I'm here to tell you that we no longer have to be in that position or have that mindset anymore. The wonderful thing about failure is that it's entirely up to us to decide how to look at it. We can choose to see failure as the end of the world or as proof of just how inadequate we are. Or we can look at failure as the incredible learning experience that it often is. And that's where I'm at. I can choose to be in that negative or dark space and think like what I just read. Or I can learn to put myself in that position as it is. It is a learning experience, and it's okay. And it will be okay. And as long as I'm breathing, there will be a tomorrow where I can do better. Every time we fail at something, we can choose to look for the lesson. And yes, they are learning lessons. We can look for the lessons we're meant to learn. These lessons are very important. That's how we grow and how we keep from making that same mistake again. Failure stops us only if we let them. And it is about a life learning experience. And again, when we learn from whatever we've been in, it helps us grow. so that we can really take a deep look into it and do our best not to make those mistakes over and over again. Because the way I see it, if I continue to keep making those mistakes, I'm going to be stuck and I'm never going to grow in life. And I'm going to see myself down the road as an older person and not learn nothing and would not have grown and just be stuck in life and just exist. And what kind of life is that for us? What purpose is that for us? Nothing. So, most of us will stumble and fall in life. That's just a given. Doors will get slammed in our faces and we might make some bad decisions. Okay? Think of the opportunities you miss if you let your failures stop you. So I know that I've definitely stumbled and fell in life. I mean, fell flat on my ishk. And it wasn't fun. Some of it could have been to circumstances, and I can blame people all day. Some of it has been my choice. But it definitely has landed me on the ground, really letting me know, like, listen, you have this opportunity right now to get up and redo this and do it better. So it is your choice. It was my choice. Get up and do it better, or sit there and play that pity party. And I'll be damned if I was going to sit there and play that pity party. Excuse my mouth. And you don't have to play that pity party either, people. You get up. And if you fail, if you stumble, if you slip, if you fall, get up. Do something about it. Make a choice today to do something about it. You can. You don't have to sit and sulk. You don't have to sit and feel sorry. Make a choice to do better for your life, because it starts with you. Failure can also teach us things about ourselves that we would never have learned otherwise. For instance, failure can help you discover how strong a person you are. Failing at something can help you discover your truest friends or help you find unexpected motivation to succeed. Let me tell you something. When I fell or was at my lowest point, I really did see who true friends were. And it wasn't that many. And it definitely made me a strong person once I got through being pissed off and angry and mad at the world and going through all that I went through emotionally and spiritually and questioning my belief and was it real, and I denounce what I believe in. Guess what? I had to reset myself. I had to regroup myself. I had to get it together for real. What I did was that self-evaluation. I took a look at myself. I checked myself, and I told myself I need to do certain things in order for me to start building myself up one footstep at a time. And I did it, and that meant letting go of what I thought were friends. That was letting go of blood family members, or those I grew up to call family members. Had to let them go. Had to be real mindful of what I engaged in, as well as conversations. And I'm not perfect because I make mistakes still to the day. I had to change some of those habits. And I did. And I'm seeing slowly but surely things that have been turning around in my life. And again, do I still go through challenges? You better believe it. That's a given. That's why I've been working on being real mindful of what I speak out and who I'm around, and the things that I do. And at the end of the day, people will judge you, but but the determination is from that higher, that divine law, or whatever you guys whatever you guys understand in your spiritual believing. So yes, I definitely I definitely understand what I just read. And I'm going to read it again if you didn't hear me. Failure can also teach us things about ourselves that we would never have learned otherwise. For instance, failure can help you discover how strong a person you are. Failing at something can help you discover your truest friends. Or I say your family. Because all family is not good family. Even though I know, even though I know family, blood, and all that, but everybody is not in your purpose. Or help you find unexpected motivation to succeed. Often, valuable insights come only after a failure. Accepting and learning from those insights is key to succeeding in life. How not to be afraid of failure. It's important to realize that in everything we do, there's always a chance that we fail. Facing that chance and embracing it is not only courageous, it also gives us a fuller, more rewarding life. Okay? Facing that chance and embracing it is not only courageous, it also gives us a fuller, more rewarding life. Here are a few ways to reduce the fear of failing. Analyze all potential outcomes. Many people experience fear of failure because they fear the unknown. Remove that fear by considering all of the potential outcomes of your decision. Learn to think more positively. Positive thinking is an incredible, powerful way to build self-confidence and neutralize self-sabotage. Look at the worst case scenario. Some cases, the worst case scenario may be genuinely disastrous, and it may be perfectly rational to fear failure. In other cases, however, the worst case may actually not be that bad, and recognizing this can help. Have a contingency plan. If you're afraid of failing at something, having a plan B in place can help you feel more confident about moving forward. How to stop living in fear. If you are afraid of failure, you might be uncomfortable setting goals. But goals help us define where we want to go in life. Without goals, we have no sure destination. Many experts recommend visualization as a powerful tool for goal setting. Imagining how life will be after you've reached your goals is a great motivator to keep you moving forward. However, visualization might produce the opposite results in people who have a fear of failure. Research does show that people who have a fear of failure were often left in a strong negative mood after being asked to visualize goals and goal attainment. So, what can you do instead? Start by setting a few small goals. These should be goals that are slightly but not overwhelmingly challenging. Think of these goals as early wins that are designed to help boost your confidence. Taking one small step at a time will build your confidence, keep you moving forward, and prevent you from getting overwhelmed with visions of goals. So here are some key points. Many of us are sometimes afraid of failing, but we mustn't let that fear stop us from moving forward. Fear of failure can have several causes, from childhood events to mistakes we've made in our adult lives. It's important to realize that we always have a choice, okay? We can choose to be afraid, or people, we can choose not to be, okay? Again, we do have choices. Choice, hashtag choice, hashtag facts. We can choose to be afraid, or we can choose not to be. Start by setting small goals that will help build your confidence. Learn how to explore and evaluate all possible outcomes rationally and develop contingency plans. And practice thinking positively. By moving forward slowly but steadily, you'll begin to overcome your fear. So those were the key points. I hope that you guys took what I've said and read into consideration to do better for your life, because it starts with you. And as I always say in closing, start with self, self-love, self-respect. Know thyself. Know your worth. Take care of the crown, the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Love yourself, guys. Hold your head up high. I hope in my positive thinking for you guys, as well as myself, is that whatever we may be going through, that we can get in a position where we can change a lot of those negative thoughts and negative energies and fear of failure, and move forward with anything that we may have experienced in our past, that we can move forward and overcome what's going on in our lives, so that the remaining of our lives will be as beautiful and peaceful and calm as possible. And our individual goals that we want to meet, that they can be met, if that's making any sense, whatever those goals look like for you. And speak it out loud. Say those affirmations. Write it up on a post-it and put it on a refrigerator or in the bathroom. I'm hoping most of us go into that bathroom, so put it in the bathroom, on the wall, and look at it, whether it's one affirmation or you do a different affirmation daily, but put it up in the bathroom or on the refrigerator, where we know we go to every day, and say it. I know it's probably, for some of you, I know for me, it's hard looking in the mirror still today. I'm doing better. But I'm going to take that challenge too. I'm going to say something positive. And I'm going to think more positive. I'm just reconfirming what I'm already working on. Reconfirming, saying positive affirmations, repositioning myself to be around truly positive, like-minded people, because there's some scammers out there. There's some fake people out there. Just positioning and aligning myself. So with that being said, I truly hope that you enjoyed this audio. Continue having a beautiful day. And with that being said, much gratitude. Ashe.